All right, so let's do some more basic electric stuff. We talked about three tones that you need: the clean, crunch, or dirt, whatever, and a wet sound for your special moments. And right now, I'm going to talk about some things you can do with a clean sound. A lot of guys today almost act like they're afraid to use a clean sound, and clean is really a lot of fun. Can add a really cool kind of a color and dimension, especially to worship music. So don't be afraid of your clean, your clean channel. So we have, okay. All I'm really doing right now with that, I have just a touch of reverb on it in my amp, like we talked about, and I've got a little small amount of a tape echo out of a delay pedal that I'm using. Not a lot, to make a real shimmery. It just gives it a little bit of depth. And it'll kind of, wave on out. So let's talk about that real quick. Again, the point of these is for basic stuff. So acoustic player coming to electric. Okay, so you know your open chords. All that. So the basic idea, like we talked about, is electric is 99% of the time way less busy than acoustic. So where your acoustic guy might be leading the song, okay, that's not what you're going for most of the time. What you're going to do a lot of times is what we're going to just, the technical term is just an arpeggio, but feeling against the beat, picking down and up through the same notes that the acoustic guy is covering, but it causes you to space out, not be doing what he's doing, and creates a cool effect. So if he's going, you might be going. And you're just going to feel that against the beat, either as quarters or eighth notes. It works great. You can leave space between it and use your tremolo and create a cool effect. Like on a slow song, you can just put it in there, right? Go to your next chord if it was. And the idea, less is better on electric, so you're not doing, you're just, and you'll notice like on that one, like I'll pick through them, upstroke, and maybe just strum lightly across for the last beat, and then a little vibrato. Okay. Now that last bit there, upstroke is a backstroke, however you want to, what terminology you want to use, creates a nice effect. Most of the time, everybody's driving down, so sometimes, especially on a slower song, you can create a nice little shimmery moment just with a backstroke and a little vibrato. Okay. Now, you start to use your chord pieces where you have C. This is also C. Right? This is a C. And this is C. And those little pieces become real important. They're based in the root and the fifth of a chord. Okay? If you take your hand, if C is your chord, right? C, D, E, F, G. Your thumb and your pinky will tell you the two tones that make for a root 5 chord. So a C and a G is a ditone. It works over the C chord, and anywhere you find a C and a G together that you can play becomes a workable version of that chord. That's becoming real common today, especially in a lot of the soloing. There's a lot of just double stops over the chord roots, and we can do more of that later. So this is a C, and this is one, and this is one. Okay. So when you're using your clean channel, one of the cool things about the chord pieces is you can play those a little quicker and create energy on a fast song without stomping all over it, because you're playing big, huge chords. Okay, a pretty well-known song that has an example of that in the beginning is a Vineyard tune called "Come Now Is the Time to Worship." Starts on a D. Okay, the guitar's going. Well, if he's already doing that, I don't need to be doing that. And one thing I can do on an electric with a clean channel is use this position D here, which is just the root, the fifth, and then this is another D, which just gives you the octave. And I can do something. And it's going on behind what he's doing. But it's different from what he's doing, which is really the key. Rhythmically, you've got to stay on track, but you want to try to be doing something different than what the leader's doing. If I didn't want to do that, I could do backstrokes in between. Now is the time to worship. Now is the time to give your heart. And I can just feel it along the background. If I want to be busier, like I said, I'd use my pieces. Come, now is the time to worship. Now is the time to give your heart. Right? And again, I'm just using the pieces. So this is a G, this is an A, E is here, and those chord pieces are really, really handy little tools to have along the way. When you do want to build up, say the song's got a dynamic, your clean channel still works. A lot of guys instantly think they got to match distortion, but not necessarily. Because if I've been doing this as a G, and it's time for a big chorus, well, now my whole chord makes it much bigger. Right? So when we've been talking about How Great Is Our God in G, if I've been doing How Great Is Our God, sing with me, how great is our God, all will see how great is our God. Right? That's one way you could do it. Well, I might be down here. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. How great is our God. Right? Well, you were going to build. So, name above all names, you are worthy of all praise, and my heart will sing how great is our God. Okay, so you can get quite a bit of dynamic and still be on your clean channel. You don't necessarily have to jump on the distortion. And lastly, we'll just talk a little bit, and we'll get more into leads later. Hopefully I can get more time to put more stuff up. But You don't necessarily have to have a distorted channel for doing a lead or an instrumental moment either. Clean is not a bad sound at all for some things. So if we were going to do something like that, what I'll do a lot of times is switch my pickup setting so that I get a different tone that stands out front a little more. A lot of times I like to go to the bridge pickup, I'm sorry, the neck pickup for solo stuff because it has a little more body to it. Right? So if you're going to do something over How Great Is Our God, but it was going to be quieter, maybe it's not a huge moment, clean channel works pretty good. So there's nothing wrong with clean. You can get a lot of stuff done with clean. I'm going to try to do one and talk a little bit more about distortion and so forth, but that was just to give you some ideas. So keep on rocking and let's see if we can get this to go.